So the tapping today is very relevant for module 4 and module 5 of the mastery in particular, because I talk about what your offerings are, whether they're aligned. We also look at how much money you're making and what you need to be selling in order to reach some of your goals. And I do that on module 4 and in module 5 again as well. There's lots of different ideas about making money in there. And for some people, obviously that can cause you to get to a stage where you think, oh shit, like I do need to diversify if I want to make my business a success. And for many people, it's also the realization that things have just been kind of plodding along and it's a bit of a hobby and it's safe. And you get to the stage where you think, you know, I'm in business actually, and I do want to be successful and I do want to make money, you know, I want to get to that thriving income. So I need to think about different ways to sell my products. So we're going to be doing some tapping around the feelings that come up when you are at that stage. Okay, so what we're going to do then is just have a little check-in. So when you think about this, when you think about the stress with regards to having to diversify or having to have more products or having to recalibrate or pivot, just think about the stress that comes up when you think about that. And we're going to rate it on that scale of 1 to 10. So just tune in, just think about perhaps doing those exercises. Think about what went through your mind. Maybe you had no ideas, maybe you had some ideas. Maybe it just felt really overwhelming, and just measure that on a scale of 1 to 10. And then you can pop that in the comments, or you can just make a mental note of it. Obviously, if you're watching the replay, please do that as well. It's always handy for me to know. Okay, and we're going to start tapping. So let's just take a nice deep calming breath in and out. Just coming into this space, have a little shake if you want to. I always find shaking is really good to just kind of shift position, shift your energy a little bit, roll your shoulders if you want to, and then we'll just start tapping. So even though I've had a lot of hard realizations about my business lately, about needing to pivot, or diversify, or just wipe the slate clean, I choose calmness. I choose calmness in this moment. Even though the weight of some of those decisions feels really heavy, and the thought of just having to take action on that feels heavy, I just acknowledge all these feelings. Even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, confused, not quite sure what to do next, not quite sure what direction to do in, what offerings to have, I choose to deeply and completely love, honour, and fully accept myself. Eyebrow point. Oh, it feels like everything is up in the air right now. Side of the eye. There are so many things that I need to think about. Under the eye. And it feels like I need to go back to the start and just rethink everything. Under the nose. And that feels really overwhelming and hard. Chin point. I just want someone to swoop in and take over so I don't have to make these decisions or do these hard things. Collarbone point. When I started my business, I didn't sign up for this. Under the arm. It all feels all too real. and maybe a bit scary. Top of the head. Also feeling frustration about how long everything takes and how much there is to do. Eyebrow point. I'm not sure if I can trust myself to make these decisions. Side of the eye. Maybe that's why I feel so apprehensive and overwhelmed. Under the eye. Because when you run a business, it's all on you. It's all on me. Under the nose. It feels like a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, a lot of decision making. Chin point. And that just makes me feel so. And just say how you're feeling here. It all just makes me feel so inadequate, discouraged, frustrated, scared, overwhelmed. Just say how you're feeling. Just name those emotions. All this, needing to pivot, diversify, etc. makes me feel so. Collarbone point. I felt fine when things were just ticking along. It was safe, comfortable, easy. Under the arm, and now it feels anything but that. Top of the head, and I'm having to make some really difficult decisions. Eyebrow point. Just acknowledging that there may have been times where I did make some bad decisions. Side of the eye. Maybe there were times that I had poor judgments. Under the eye. What if I decide something and then it doesn't work out? Or it all goes pear-shaped? Under the nose. And then I'd just be back at square one again. Back to the beginning. Chin point. Part of me is afraid to take responsibility for this. Collarbone point. Part of me wants to be guided by, or mentored, or rescued by someone else. So it all feels too hard. Under the arm. And if I use my own judgment and trust myself and then fail, what does that mean? Yet another thing to add to the list. Top of the head. Maybe that would prove that I can't be trusted and I can't trust my judgment. Okay, let's move on to the positive now. Okay, eyebrow point. I really, really do want to navigate through this though. Side of the eye, because I really do want to be successful. I do want to make my business work. Under the eye, maybe I could lean in to self-trust. Under the nose, and so what if things didn't work out before? That's normal. Chin point. That was a different situation and I'm a different person now. I've evolved and grown. Every day I'm changing. Collarbone point. Plus there are so many things that have worked out where I did make good decisions, where things went well for me, when things worked out. under the arm. And maybe because this is all around money and success in a way, maybe there are some old wounds coming up. Maybe there are some hidden beliefs making themselves known again. Top of the head, maybe I'm doubting my ability to work my way through this. About these making decisions about my business, about money, about what I'm offering. Eyebrow point. But at the end of the day, the best person that can guide me through this is me. Is me. Side of the eye. I can trust myself to work this out. Under the eye. I give myself permission to work this out on my own. Under the nose. Because money is important. Alignment is important. But I'm the only one who can ensure that things are aligned. Chin point. So I choose to clear whatever is getting in the way here. Whatever's getting in the way, these imaginary blocks, I choose to clear them, especially when it comes to self-trust and using my own judgment. Collarbone point. Maybe it's fears coming up, excuses, past experiences, or something else. I choose to clear these things. Under the arm, and just letting go of anything else that might be clouding my judgment or distracting me. Top of the head. I trust in my ability to work through this calmly. Okay, last round now. Eyebrow point. I invite clarity around these decisions. I invite clarity around these decisions. Side of the eye. And if I need to strip everything back, so be it. So be it. Under the eye. Because it is far better to do that than to just trudge along on the same path, getting the same results. Under the nose. Because if I do that, I'm not honouring myself. I'm not honouring my higher self. I'm not honouring my goals. I'm not honouring my dreams. I'm not honouring my aspirations. Chin point. I am going to be brave and step up here. I am going to be brave and step up here. Collarbone point. There's no immediate rush to get this done. I gift myself time. I gift myself space. And I invite clarity. Under the arm. I have absolutely got the ability to do this. There's no question about it. I can do this. I can do this. Of course I can do this. There's no question. Top of the head. I back myself 100%. I back myself 100%. And I trust myself to navigate through this with confidence, with ease, with grace. I got this. I got this. Okay, just stop tapping there. Nice deep breath in. and let it all go. And then just check in again with that resistance. So thinking about that need to pivot, diversify, go back to the start, recalibrate, thinking about the stress that comes up on that scale of 1 to 10. Just marking that shift down. So you can let me know in the comments, or you can just make a mental note, or come back later and let me know. So I hope that helped. You know, it is hard. I think I've talked about this before, you know, having to diversify and pivot. I've done it a few times myself, and I know it can feel like, oh no. It is just draining, you know, it's really tiring, and it feels like so much work ahead. But once you do get things aligned, and once you do have that kind of range of products that you feel really confident that all match up on that lovely sales alignment matrix, that is where the magic happens, and it's all worth it in the long run, I promise. And like I said in the tapping, you know, what is the alternative? You just stay on that same path with the hobby business, feeling comfortable and easy, but not really taking it seriously, or you step into your power and you think, I'm going to do this, I have the ability to do this. And it can be really, really tempting, and I know this as well because I've done this myself, to just want to be saved and want someone to come in and tell you what to work on and tell you what to do. But there is no better person than you to serve you in that way. So really lean into that self-trust and give yourself all the space and time you need to make those decisions.